So many great highlights of the day as we look back. Of course, the start from Glenelg, they were in neutral race under the control of the race director Stuart O'Grady starting off, and you could just feel an energy about today, Gracie, couldn't you? Early on, you could just tell that some big things were going to happen out there on the road.
That's right. It was a big deal today. It's a big deal for the Santos Tour Down Under race organisation. It was such a big goal for them to have this as a World Tour level race in the future, but to have it in 2023, they're so happy. It's great for the teams to open up the season with a World Tour level race. The riders are all excited, very nervous about those crosswind conditions, but probably a little bit relieved that it wasn't super hot today.
I want to talk to you about Georgia Baker, who really positioned herself well. Commonwealth Games gold medalist, put herself in a good spot, gave herself every chance at the end, but it just wasn't to be today.
No, unfortunately, it wasn't to be. The Jayco Lula team did a really good job in setting her up. They had a really good lead out, but because it was a tailwind finish, they just went a little bit too early. They weren't able to hold that pace coming into the finish. She had to start her sprint earlier than what she'd hoped. She was in the saddle before the finish line, which means she'd just run out of legs, and the other riders that were sitting behind were just able to overcome her on the line.
Yeah. Grace, if you had to pick a rider of the day today?
Oh, I'd love to say Isabel Carnes, riding for the ARA Skip Capital team. She's only 18 years old, racing against some of the world's best, showing us that she is one to watch in the future. She was in that breakaway of 2 today with Team Bridge Lane rider Gina Ricciardo. They did a really good job out there and looking quite dangerous. The bunch actually had to work very hard to bring them back at the end of this race.
Speaking of looking dangerous, as we got to the finish line, all of the big names were being mentioned there. They were all in contention. What did you take away from today? Who are you watching? Who is a chance to win this at the end of the stages?
Well, Grace Brown showed us that she was ready to take some of those bonus seconds on the first intermediate sprint, but it was Amanda Spratt that came in 5th place in the bunch sprint. We don't ever see Amanda Spratt as a bunch sprinter, but she's in some amazing form at the moment. She usually loves the climbs, but to be in 5th in the bunch sprint shows us that she's in some really good form. She's got some good speed in her legs, and she's ready to race this race every single day.
Now, I remember at the start of today, you did mention that she was amongst your probably top 2 for the overall title. She stays right there, moved up, firmed up a little bit.
Definitely. She didn't get to take any bonus seconds today like Grace Brown did, but there's going to be a bit more heated up action when we get to the intermediate sprints tomorrow, and especially as it gets more hilly in the races.